What is up, guys, and welcome back to an episode of F122, my team career mode, episode number 4 today for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix in Season 1. If you guys did miss the previous episode at the Australian Grand Prix, definitely be sure to go check down that before see this one. A very interesting episode, but unfortunately a DNF for us as not the best of races from us. But coming into the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, we're going through the activity timeline here, and you may have noticed at the start of the screen that we got an ignition power train upgrade, which will help us further improve our powertrain. And we do have a couple more upgrades then coming in for the Grand Prix. We do have that failed aerodynamic upgrade from last episode, and then a chassis upgrade we purchased, I think, at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So we're looking to have both those come in. We're looking to sign our new sponsor then for this coming episode. Nice small secondary sponsor, and looking through the sponsors, mainly prioritizing weekly income, and I eventually decided to settle on our new sponsor, Distort, and it's complete all practice programs in one weekend. It's got a decent gold bonus and it's got decent weekly income. So with that, we are going to be signing Distort and now adding it to our car for this season. So with that now out of the way, let's get on with the timeline here. Looking at a vehicle, we do have to take out some parts though, as our ICE is getting pretty worn out there. We'll have to change that soon. But now we do get that aerodynamic upgrade there from last episode, which was supposed to come in last episode. Unfortunately, it now comes in for this race, which is good, because now we have a chance to upgrade even further aerodynamics. And I was looking between the Venturi tunnels and the beam wing, and I decided to settle on the beam wing because it does have more of a discount. So that will come in time for the Miami Grand Prix. That is, if it comes in. So let's hope that comes in, and let's continue with the timeline. As we go through the timeline now, we get a marketing department event. Let's see what they have to ask for us this time around.
An upcoming news article has a question they'd like your input on.
So this is an interesting one, is deciding who is our rival for the season so far. Will it be Lando Norris or will it be Daniel Ricciardo? So I chose Daniel Ricciardo because, I mean, Lando is going to be pretty hard to beat. He has beaten us quite often. Ricciardo, I think it'll be a little easier for us to beat. I know there's slightly less acclaim to earn, but I think we will be fine. Anyways, let us continue on with the timeline. Unfortunately, the gearbox improvement does not come in. I mean, I don't care about that too much. The durability is not really something we need to worry about right now. We'll just purchase it. That'll come on in time then for the Miami Grand Prix. As you can see there, the ignition system is now active, and we're going to go ahead and purchase spark plugs. No, we cannot. There's no discount, and we've kind of burned all our resource points trying to buy that, repurchase that durability upgrade. So, I mean, nothing much at the moment, but once we get that powertrain upgrade, that we should be good to go. Now we get that monocoque structure, which will be crucial for us. That means 3 upgrades have come in for this race, and the ones that matter, the powertrain, the aerodynamics, and the chassis. So now we have engine cover, which could be waiting to go soon. Now the engine cover distribution one is coming in at a later time. As we continue to go through the activity timeline there, getting some more money and some more resources. Is there anything else we can really do? Nothing much. I really want to save for that fabrication upgrade for the aerodynamics, because if we can do that, we can put ourselves in a really, really good position to further upgrade the aerodynamics, which is lagging behind the likes of the powertrain and the chassis. But as I was looking through that, I realized that we need some upgrades for Spec 1, and we're going to purchase a quality control upgrade, because there's no point really of bringing the upgrades if they're just going to keep failing, so that we're going to allow that to happen, and that's going to allow the aerodynamics to eventually turn to Spec 1. That'll come in time for the Miami Grand Prix. And now let's get on with the time. We got the Pirelli Hot Lap to do, and this time instead of the average speed zone, we would choose the checkpoint challenge. So the checkpoint challenge is pretty simple. You just got to hit a bunch of checkpoints all across the track. And we are driving as the McLaren 720S. Good to have you back after the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. As we come across the line, the 5 red lights are gone, and we are underway. As you can see there, we have a couple seconds here to try and meet the checkpoints here as we now come towards the first corner. A little odd with the supercars. Got to brake pretty early here and not make sure we miss the apex. We go pretty deep in there, missing the apex more than I would like to. The good thing is we can ride the curbs as much as we possibly can, but we will have to watch out for chocolate to gain our first checkpoint here. And I will skip on through the rest just so we don't have to bore you through driving the Imola circuit at such a slow snail pace. As we now cut on towards the end of the Pirelli Hot Lap, it's been pretty interesting as we get a near disqualification for accumulative infringements. Obviously, I cut some about. Yes, I did cut a lot of corners and exceeded a lot of track limits. The track limits are very strict in this, I know. As we now come into the final sector, we're going to have to get this dead right, though, if we want to get that gold, because we are running, we're running out of time pretty fast, as there's already 10 seconds on the clock. We barely even hit the bronze time as we try to get on the gas pedal here as fast as we can, but we accidentally lose the back end and we bit it into the wall. There's no time to recover from this, and unfortunately that will only mean bronze. And the checkpoint was right there as well, for good measure. I mean, very painful, I must say, but I mean, what can you do, to be honest? So we only get 250 acclaim and $25,000 in cash, but I will take that. But we do get a nice challenge award there. So you can see at 9,476 meters, so close. If we had just gotten the checkpoint, we could have definitely gotten the gold. But now let's get on to free practice 1. Now the interesting thing here is that it is a sprint weekend, so that means we have 2 practice sessions. So that means we gotta cram in all these practice programs as quickly as we can and hope none of them fail and burn our time here, because I want to get that sponsor bonus, because we need that extra $108,000 to upgrade our facilities as we try to get it. But that programming failed is really going to put us in the back foot here. Not a lot of time left, only 7 minutes left. Can we get this chassis one just in time? No, we cannot. That is a big pain in the butt there. But instead of practice 2, it's qualifying. Alrighty then, here we are for qualifying for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. It's actually for the sprint here, as we're going to load our setup and get ready to go out on track here. This is going to be crucial as to where we start in the sprint, because where we start the sprint could really benefit us where we can start in the actual Grand Prix. So here we're going to go out for our first hot lap here. And now rocketing down the main street towards turn 1. So actually turn 2, sorry, as we go to the Variante Tamburello chicane, as it is formerly called in the F1 world. And I gotta say, with this setup, the car definitely felt a little skittish on the rear. I was being very cautious here as we come through this next chicane and on towards the left-hander here. I don't really know the corner names around the Emilia-Romagna circuit, or the Autodromo Enzo Igino Ferrari, as the Italians call it. As we come up towards the fast left-hander here, really try to take as much speed as you can here while staying in track limits. Well, we have not done a very good job of that. Luckily, no warning though for that, and no lap time to lead us. Now come into this tricky double right-hander here. It's actually pretty satisfying if you get it right, but again, it's hard to get it right. As now come towards the interesting chicane here, going pretty deep here, and you could take a lot more curve than you think you can, but at the same time, you do not want to damage the floor of the car. Taking a bit of grass and just trying to minimize the run towards the next corner here. Down to 3rd gear, clip that apex, get out as wide as you can, touching the gravel a little bit there, not spinning the car out though, which is good. As you now come across the line, then what lap time is this going to go? A pretty decent lap though, and it's P2, only just about a second behind Charles Leclerc, interestingly there. So I wonder how that's going to go as we have one of the AlphaTauris of Yuki Tsunoda coming out right now. And back to the garage we must go here, and once we advance time, still running pretty high though in P10, only a second out the pace, and Teo Porcher putting in a very respectable lap time. And the thing is, even though he's down to 14, look at how close the gap is. It's only about 3/10 separating the two of us. So actually, it's not that bad, but I think we will have to go out again just to ensure that we can get into Q2 here. And now here we go down the main street, and we are immediately greeted there by Pierre Gasly, as now the people are coming out for their final runs. We kind of came out at an inopportune time though, to be honest, unfortunately. But we do get a lot of time though in that first chicane. Taking a bit more aggressive here, as we now know what the car is capable of. Coming into this left-right-hander, actually going a little slower, getting a much better exit out there. Coming into the left-hander here, Fernando Alonso is just ahead of us. Can he get out of the way as quickly as he can before we start to interfere our lap time? He's not going to get out of our way towards the left-hander here. There's a nice distant total from him. We get a little bit of dirty here though. Now grabbing his toe. Now Alonso get out of the way. Thank you very much, Fernando Alonso, for that. We right off the curbs though, pretty aggressively there. Hopefully,
I'm afraid expect significant performance issues until you come in and let us start repairs.
Oh, well, that's helpful. But we're so close to the end of the lap, it's not going to matter that much as we now clip those 2 apexes. Now get on the power and towards the final 2 corners. Unfortunately, the underbody has suffered a little bit of damage. It's pretty easy to damage your floor here around Imola if you're not careful with the curbs. But it does reward you if you get it right. Getting very close to the gravel there, missing the apex a little bit. Now getting on the power as early as we can. We're going to go across the line here. Where is this going to put us? It's going to put us P6 just behind both Mercedes. And just as a thank you to Fernando Alonso, I'm going to give him a nice distant toe here as he gets a slipstream and then the back out just before the first corner. Looking at the results from Q1, we do manage to stay in P10, and Teo Pocher is in with us, only a couple tenths behind us, and look who's just ahead of us. It's Fernando Alonso. The guy we gave a distance to was only 1,000th ahead of us, very funnyly. But enough said about that. Let's now head to Q2. Now, the odd thing about coming into Q2 is that we only have one fresh set of soft compounded tires. Remember, we burned 2 there as we tried to make sure we get that Q1. So this will be our one and only flying lap here if we can manage to put together one big good lap here. If they come into the Variante Tamburello chicane, we don't want to touch that inside curve out of turn 3 there, because if you can floor the throttle, it's going to be a bit of a pain. Now we give way to sunny skies with a bit of clouds, but we are gaining a good amount of time here on our rivals, only a couple thousandths off. Lando Norris has now come into this left-hander here, as now get on the power or the cam, but we spin it, and we absolutely spin it there, tap the wall there for good measure. That's our first lap ruin. We do have time though, as long as we can get around as quickly as we can and avoid any other traffic with other cars. We do have time then for one more quick lap. And we do make it then with 10 seconds to go across the line. We do have one more chance of a flying lap here. Let's see what we can do into the first corner. Can we do anything to try and bring ourselves even higher coming into the first quarter, taking a bit of an odd line through here, and well, no, just no, that didn't work. Well, unfortunately, I think that will be it then for our qualifying session, as well, we don't have time to go again. Qualifying is over for us, as we get an odd view of our car in the garage apparently. Nice view though, I must say. Fortunately, that's P16, not a very representative lap time from us. With a better lap time, that probably could have been at least well into the bottom 6, unfortunately. I don't think we would have gotten out of Q2, at least maybe 13th or 14th. But that's enough, speaking of qualifying. Let's get on then to FP2. Oh, don't mind me, just finishing up the practice programs here. We're just going to try to do as much as we can. I want to mainly prioritize the R&D points, because I definitely know we are not going to get all of the practice programs done, though. We're going to do the engine power just to make sure, can we get this in one go? Yes, we can. And then now moving on to the other one, the ERS management. Just, again, trying to get all the R&D points we can. Because if we can get that, then that means we stand a good chance of then getting some more upgrades onto the car. Getting some decent R&D boosters. Now just spending the last bit looking through. We're going to use that weight reduction. Can we get this in time? No, it will not. We do have one more chance, though, if we can. Looking around to see what we can do. There's tire wear. And there's a bit of, oh, we can't do that with this drag reduction, but I don't like the chance of that. We're going to do the weight reduction for one last time, and that will be it for practice. But now, because of the sprint weekend, we now head to the sprint. But before we do that, actually, we're actually going to go purchase a minor engine power thanks to the small discount we have, enough R&D points. That'll come in time then for the Spanish Grand Prix. But that's now enough. Now we really can get on with the sprint.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Sainz, George Russell, and Hamilton. Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Bottas, and Lando Norris. Mick Schumacher, Magnussen, Guan Yu Zhou, and Ricciardo. Teo Pocher, Gallagher, Sebastian Vettel, and Lance Stroll. Gasly, Tsunoda, Albon, and Nicholas Latifi. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
Let's go then. It is time then to get ready for the first ever F1 sprint here in Imola, and I'm pretty excited to see how this will go. We got to be aggressive out of the box here, because if we don't, then we're going to put ourselves to the massive disadvantage then for tomorrow's Grand Prix. So if we can get a good launch off here and see if we can maintain some positions here, we could be in a good spot to get some good points for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. But before we have to do that, we got to make sure we park our car, because just warming up the tires for one last time here as we come towards the grid slot. and we get that pretty much spot on there. But for this one, there will be no off-board footage like the TV footage, but this time you will stay with me on board. But enough said about that. Let's go then to 5 red lights then for the sprint here in Imola, and it's lights out, and we are green, green, green. It's a decent start for us though. Not the greatest though, as you know, heading out towards when Sebastian VETTEL's got a decent run on us, as you know, barrel down towards the very anti-Tamaretta chicane, boxed in behind, and Vettel goes down the inside. It's going to make it 3 wide, almost, just about. He just about manages to avoid contact. We're going to squeeze Yuki Tsunoda out in the Alpha Tower, and almost lose the back end of the process there. Very, very, very close. Tsunoda comes back at us. Can we hang this around the outside? Yes, we can have the inside line for the next corner. Dipping a tire onto the gravel, but we do manage to keep P17. But what a very close call there, as they're going side by side up there. Again, no off-board footage here, so you're just going to stick with me here as we now get onto the laps. Only 11 laps though for this sprint. There's 22 in real life. I think 22 or 21, I'm not sure. Tsunoda almost had to look up the inside, going a bit wide just in case he actually wanted to go down the inside there. But that will not happen, as this train is starting to form up here. So let's hope we can keep our head down and sort of stick with the train. We get a massive snap of oversee there. Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin is going to try to get us into the chicane. We have the inside line. We squeeze him out, and we stay in P17. Although losing a bit of positions as Untitled is up there, and he is well and truly in that fight. On lap 2, we got a yellow flag in this sector. What is this going to be all about here as we now come here across there, and we see one of the Ferraris, Charles Leclerc, after 1 racing lap, is now out of the Grand Prix, the sprint here, as we are trying to stick with this pack. Let's have a look at what happened here. And you can see there Charles Leclerc is already going, so that's going to hand now the lead of the sprint then to Max Verstappen. Poor Charles Leclerc. He's going to do 1 racing lap, and then his engine decides to go pop. But, I mean, it's a free position for us, and another position for us for tomorrow's race. On towards lap 4 now, though. And we got a yellow flag here. What's going on here? We got one of the Mercedes, and it's Lewis Hamilton, who I think has gone straight off into the gravel. And that's a little concerning just to see what happened there. Let's have a look back at what happened here. So we're riding aboard the with Lewis Hamilton. He's overtaking one of the Ferraris, Carlos Sainz, obviously because he's flying the left flag into turn 2. And yeah, he just locks up the tires. And I've seen a lot of his AI mistakes happen in this chicane, just obviously going too deep, and I like it. It's like a player mistake when they go into deep, lock up the brakes, and then go straight off the track. Pressing on though towards lap 7, we're still stuck behind Sebastian Vettel. We have pulled an easy gap though to Pierre Gasly as he's now heading towards turn 2. They're going side by side up there, and it's a bit of a squabble here. Ricardo gets all out of shape, Vettel gets all out of shape. We take the free position and say thank you very much. Something must have happened back there. And Nicholas Latifi is now out of the session here. And that's not good, as what's going on now. The safety car has been deployed for this race. With only just 4 laps to go. There's really no point for a safety car, but let's have a look back and see what exactly happened. As we're riding above the with Sebastian Vettel, you can see those two are going side by side up there. Ricardo gets all out of shape, and Vettel, I think, just overcorrects it. And meanwhile, behind Nicholas Latifi, I think, yeah, he retired because of an engine failure. He did not actually be a part of this instance, so he just retired from mechanical failure, and that has been enough to pull out the full course safety car. But now then, for the 3rd race in a row, we will now see the broadcast safety car come into action. That will give us enough time to just go through the time. As you can see here, Verstappen leads away from Sergio Perez. Then comes George Russell, Carlos Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon, Mick Schumacher, Lando Norris, Kevin Magnussen, Zhou Guanyu rounds out the points. Then comes Valtteri Bottas, Teo Pocher up there in 12, so good showing for him. Then comes Daniel Ricciardo, us, Gasly, Albon, Tsunoda, Stroll, Vettel, and Hamilton rounding out. Only 20 drivers, honestly. Charles Leclerc and Nicholas Latifi both retired then from mechanical failures. But you can see the safety car is now coming to an end. Verstappen will lead the way from all of us as we are behind these guys, getting ready to take back control from the AI here. Try to charge up the battery as much as we can there, as we're going to try to send it there with only just really 3 laps to go then for this Emilia Romagna Grand Prix sprint. So we're going to have to set it here on Daniel Ricciardo and just hope for the best here as we now come in out of the last corner here, getting ready to go across the line. And we're going to have a good run here on Daniel Ricciardo as we're going to start lap 9 of this Emilia Romagna Grand Prix sprint. Behind Daniel Ricciardo, can he make a move here? Are we going to make a move here? We're going to go down the inside of Daniel Ricciardo, make a bit of contact there as we caught up on the curb just a little bit there. But we managed to make the move second. Look, we're up into P13. Bottas is up there in P11. Pocher is up there in P12. Can we steal those positions and ensure we can get up even further on the grid here? But Daniel Ricciardo is looking pretty feisty here as we're on lap 10 here. Still behind our teammate Valtteri Bottas, but Ricciardo is looking to try to make a move. We gotta be a little bit quick here before he starts to take us. As I don't know why Mark asks us for a strategy change when there's no stops needed in this sprint, as he now comes into the double right hand here, down to 4th gear. Clip that apex, get a good run through there, and we pull away from Ricciardo a little bit. That's a pretty easy place to lose traction, so we gotta make sure that the car is fully ready to go. As now Teo Pocher and Valtteri Bottas go side by side into the chicane. That's gonna cost him a bit of time. Can we now get a run though on Teo Pocher? We gotta put a car between us and Daniel Ricciardo if we want to maintain this position. We're gonna go down the inside of our teammate Teo Pocher, give him the room needed. He gives us the room. Thank you very much, Teo, for giving us respect, and we give him a little respect as well. And now we move over to P12, and let's hope that Teo Pocher can put up a lion show of defending against Daniel Ricciardo. And now moving on to the end of lap 11 of 11 here in this Emilia Romagna Grand Prix sprint. Pocher has stayed with us, and he's put up a great show defending just as we requested. And we are still behind Valtteri Bottas, not going to make a clumsy move here. As Verstappen takes the fast lap, and he will take victory here in the sprint, just like real life, interestingly, as he now come across the line in P12. A decent show for us as Pocher comes in P13. We've made up 4. He's made up 2 positions, which is good. And Pocher goes blowing right by us there. Guess he's in a rush though to get back to the garage and try to beat us for tomorrow's race there. Verstappen gets the victory and the driver of the day, which is interesting. And let's see where we are stacking up then for tomorrow's race. Obviously, Verstappen got first. Perez will come in second. Third is Russell. Fourth is Sainz. Fernando Alonso is in fifth. Ocon sixth. Schumacher seventh. Norris eighth. Madison ninth. And Zhou Guanyu in tenth. It's a decent show for us though, as we are 12th and 13th, which will be good for us and a good place to start tomorrow and hopefully score some points. So now let's get on to the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix.
Welcome once again to the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari. The clue's in the name. This is very much Ferrari home turf, and the locals will be out in force today to support their team in what we hope will be a magnificent spectacle of motorsport. On then to the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. 3.1 miles of track at Imola, featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula One tracks as it's taken anti-clockwise. Let's hope nobody forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight on the circuit and its only DRS zone. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Sainz, Fernando Alonso and Ocon, Mick Schumacher, Norris, Magnussen and Guanyu Zhou, Bottas, Gallagher, Teo Pocher and Gasly, Tsunoda, Albon, and Sir Lewis Hamilton and Lance Stroll. Vettel, Ricciardo, they've taken a grid penalty. Leclerc and Nicholas Latifi. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. Ant, it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Whereas Natalie Pinkham gone? We had her last episode, and I think she was a little bored of us not putting up a good show, so let's hope we can put up a good show here. Hopefully she'll come back for next episode. Anyways, now in terms of strategy for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, straight one stop from mediums to hard compounded tires, so hopefully it'll be pretty straightforward. No rain for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, as Mark confirmed just there. And I'm eager to see how this will go. We made up a good amount of positions though in the sprint, so can we carry the momentum into the race? But now let's get ready to park up our car and get ready for the start of the Grand Prix here. Just warming up the tires then for one last time, making sure the fronts don't get too cold and the rears especially don't get too cold. We're looking to have the max amount of traction and off the line. Coming to our grid slot then, grid slot number 12 here. Parking up, can we get this right? Yes, we can. 0.3 meters. So let's hope that we can have a good run through here. It'll be a crucial run down towards turn 1. So let's hope that we can get this done as quickly as we can then. But enough talking. Let's get on to 5 red lights for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. It's lights out, and we are green, green, green here in Imola. It's a decent start for us, though, as we hold up tail for chairs and head down towards turn 2 and the time Moreno chicane. Both Alfa Romeos going side by side. Poitiers having a look then around their outside there. Sonoda's almost, or Gazasari is almost getting interested there. Well, Poitiers goes, so we give him the space there, and we managed to hold P13 just about as the Alpha tires now switch positions as we now head through this left and right hander and towards the left hander here. You got a decent scrap though for cars here as Esteban Ocon and Mick SCHUMACHER going side by side here as we now look on to see us going down the inside there of our teammate Teo Pocher, but Teo Pocher gets the better line through there and we maintain position in P13. Meanwhile, you got Daniel Ricciardo and Lance Stroll going side by side into the left hander here. Who's going to have the better line through here? They're still going at it in towards the double right hander. Who's going to have the confidence to go? Lance Stroll gets the inside line and he maintains P19. As we now head on towards lap 2, Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz, the two Spaniards going side by side here. Can Fernando Alonso steal P4 then from the Spaniard? Carlos Sainz, yes he can. Sainz pulls though to the inside. Can he get the move done? No, he cannot. Alonso with a fantastic move moves up into P4. Great job by the old Spaniard. But while that was happening, we have one of the Haas's in the pits, and that's Kevin Magnussen, who I think has got front wing damage. That's going to ruin his race as he comes out into the box then. That is going to turn his race upside down. Yes, it is. Soft tires go on, medium tires go off, and that will be the end. As now we're going to see Lewis Hamilton, and you can see him having a great scrap here. Hamilton will get through, and that means he'll be on the back of Pierre Gasly very, very, very soon. But we have Carlos Sainz now coming into the pits. Was that damage against Fernando Alonso? There might have been then, as he now comes into the box then. Yes, it will be a wing change then for the Spaniard. Unfortunate for him. Medium tires go off. I think the soft tires are on. Then meanwhile, you got Lance Stroll, Charles Leclerc going side by side into towards the left-hander. Who's going to have the inside? Leclerc goes on the inside. Can he make the mistake? Yes, he can. And he now gets up into P17. Meanwhile, you got Pierre Gasly and Lewis Hamilton trying to scrap it out them. I told you, Hamilton would be on the back of Pierre Gasly very soon. He doesn't get him on this chance, but I bet you he will get him very, very, very soon. And already then on lap 4, he's already coming at him at a rate of not with DRS. Last pass, the Avatar of Pierre Gasly, but Gasly is not giving up another fight. They're going to go side by side into the left-hander. Hamilton gets the move done. Good move then by the Briton, and he will soon be on the back of us. As we can see, Charles Leclerc is off, and I think it's the same mistake he made like Hamilton in the sprint. His race has gone from bad to worse. He's now in P20. And lap 5, and Hamilton is catching us at a rate of not, and we're just going to let the guy by. Nothing much we can really do about it though, as Hamilton now comes into the left-hander, looking for a little mistake there. Unfortunately, there's no mistake as he now moves up to P11. He will be soon chased after our teammate Teo Pocher, who, by the way, is running a P10 though, thanks to the pit stops at the other people made. So if Teo Pocher can hold on to this P10, he's scoring a point for our team. And I know that we're not scoring the point, but hey, I will complete this race and I will do everything I can to make sure that Teo Pocher gets the point we need for our team. And on towards lap 6, got the two Aston Martins going side by side into Time Morel chicane. They are just tripping over each other, and I love to some reason trip over each other here in Imola. That's great racing, obviously. I'm not going to put that down, as now Daniel Ricciardo is going to look up the inside, but he holds them down, does Sebastian Vettel. I do like the AI racing right here, but we lose so much time because of that. Meanwhile, up ahead, you got us running them, and look at Lewis Hamilton pressurizing Teo Pocher. But can Teo Pocher hold on to this as he's been right on board with Lewis Hamilton for a little bit here? Can Hamilton make a move on our teammate here before time runs out? And straight away then on the next lap, Zhou Guanyu goes around the outside about the borders. You can see up the ladder there, Esteban Ocon and Mick SCHUMACHER there are scrapping for points. And now Lewis Hamilton and Teo Pocher are now scrapping for points. We are just watching behind us with a big bucket of popcorn and waiting to snatch the opportunity. But Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guanyu going side by side. Hamilton's now up into 10th place, Teo Pocher at 11th. And we are just behind in 12th. straight to the action that has now come back to that. Joe Guan Yu goes pretty deep here, trying to make a move on her teammate Taylor Boucher. Hamilton now gets his way through, but not after forcing his way. But look at Taylor Boucher, he's going to go side by side with Joe Guan Yu as he now head now towards the next chicane. Can Taylor Boucher hang this around the outside? We are waiting behind here to see if we can make a move. This squabbling is really holding us up there, but look at that! Taylor Boucher has legitimately overtaken now an Alfa Romeo as they now head now towards the fast left-hander here. Are we going to make a move? No, we cannot. We're just a little too far back. But if we can get ahead of Joe Guan Yu, we can do a lot better job defending than the AI here as we now head now through the double right-hander here. And now we can get on towards the next lap here. And cutting on straight towards lap number 14. And Pierre Gasly is right all over the back as we squeeze him. Let's see if he's going to make a move. Now Yuki Tsunoda is going to try to get involved in this as we now head towards the very anti-time production game. Defending the inside. Now going back to the race line. But Gasly hits us. He's hit us as we go spinning around in circles. And there is a huge pile up here as everyone is concentrating up. That's never a good sign here. And we have to get out as quick as we can. And the safety car has now been called out. And this is just a huge pileup as so many cars have DNF or lost front wings. But let's have a look back and see what exactly happened between me and Gasly. So here's Gasly here. He sees the gap right there and he goes for it. But we've closed the door too quickly. And I don't know whose fault it is, but I think it's Gasly's fault. We closed the door way too quickly. And then you could just see the absolute chaos just ensuing behind here. But I do think it is, unfortunately, Gasly's fault there, as we did close the door on him, though. Quite aggressive, I will admit, though. But, I mean, he should have seen the guy close and shoot his bit out of it. Meanwhile, though, we are into the pit stem. Taylor Boucher has come in, and we have given them plenty of space to double stack. Let's see if the crew will be ready for us. No, they are not. The guy apparently are not ready. But it's still a decent stop for us, as we get the medium tires off, hard tires on, and just like that, we are back out nice and easy. And the good thing about the safety car is we don't have to worry about trying to warm up our tires at racing speed. We can go on and just get ready. And for the second time this weekend, we have the safety car coming. Now we can see another broadcast safety car again. Verstappen leads the way then from George Russell, who's running very well in second place. Then comes Sergio Perez, Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon, both Alpines running in the top 5. What a result for them so far. Then comes Lando Norris, Mick Schumacher, Valtteri Bottas, Lewis Hamilton, Joe Guan Yu, Taylor Boucher, Carlos Sainz, us, Albon, Magnussen, Gasly, Tsunoda, and you can just see 5 guys have retired so far. I mean that was a pretty crazy impact, I must say, as they now head down the straight and towards the next lap here. It'll be interesting to see where we actually go then for the next couple laps, because it's pretty much going to be a sprint here as we now see the next lap here as Aston Martin safety car comes down. But look at the ladder there. Sainz just fallen to the 14th. Now 14th. Has he got a mechanical failure here as now come on the main straight here? Wonder what this issue is going to be.
Okay, information on Sainz. Right, they've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Oh no, a double DNF'd for the Scuderia Ferrari team. And even worse, at Imola, at the place where they rule and where Italy rules and Ferrari rules. It's just all gone to shambles for them, hasn't it? Anyways, that promotes us to P12. That puts Taylor Boucher in P11. So that means that gives us a great chance then to try and get some points as we now return control from the AI here. And we're going to be going green here out of this last corner. Giving space there from Taylor Boucher just so that we can have a good run on him on the main straight. Maybe if we need to overtake him just in case he's going a little too slow here, so that we can attack him. Right, I see Carlos Sainz parked up there in the left corner, and we are going here. Green flag, green, as we have a good solution there from Taylor Boucher, using a lot of ERs to try to get past him, but he's got insane straight line speed for some reason in the same piece of machinery. As he now head now towards turn 1, with the good corner, Boucher goes down the inside, turns defense into attack. Can he now get the inside line against Joe Guan Yu? Can he? Yes, he can. He now moves up then into P10. We're going to have to defend from Alex Albon in the Williams, trying to spoil our party here. We managed to get the move done, and we managed to hold on then to P12 here, dipping a tire then into the gravel. But look at Taylor Boucher running high in P10 there, putting our car in places where it really should not be, to be honest. As we now head now towards the left-hander here, can we have a good run of them? We are just a little too far back there. And when I mean a little too far back, I mean a lot too far back than these guys. Pretty crazy how close they are, especially in that Alfa Romeo. But let's see if we can make any amends then in the remaining laps. And already Valtteri Bottas might want to put some distance between him and other cars, but we can already see Mick Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton going side by side, bit of contact, tire wall to tire wall. Let's see who's going to come out of this. Hamilton gets out on top, and that's going to be up to P7 for the Breton. But now Valtteri Bottas could try to make a move on Mick Schumacher, but he gets caught up on the curb there a little bit, and that's going to slow him down, and he's still on the better than Mick Schumacher, but that's going to bring everyone back into this fight, as we're going to see both AlphaTauris swapping positions. Madison goes down the inside. Does Gasly have a bit of damage there, as he's going pretty slow though compared to his teammate. Lap 22 though, and Teo Bashir is looking pretty feisty as he goes down the inside of Valtteri Bottas as they were caught up behind Mick Schumacher. Can he make the move stick and get up to P9? This would be more points for our team as he goes on the inside there of Valtteri Bottas, and he makes the move stick. He has made the move stick, and he has passed the finish driver. But now, Zhou Guanyu have a good run on him, and we are waiting behind to see as they're going to go side by side into the left-hander. Zhou Guanyu gets squeezed out, and that will force us closer to Zhou Guanyu. Meanwhile, Alex Albon and Yuki Tsunoda go with you. Tsunoda hangs around the outside. Great confidence from the Japanese driver to hold on to P13. Gasly did not make a stop, but I think Valtteri Bottas is coming in. Does he have a bit of wing damage? It's like a small shark bite, though, on his front wing. That's going to be disappointing then for the Finnish driver. As is he going to pull it to the box? Yes, he is. And is there a wing to replace? And yes, there unfortunately is. For the Finnish driver, he is out pretty much in this race. And now what we can see here, Teo Bashir and Zhou Guanyu. Zhou Guanyu has now gone past Teo Bashir, unfortunately. So the French driver has lost P9. But I don't care though. We're going to see if we can make a charge now. But we have to keep Yuki Tsunoda behind, who is looking pretty quick at the AlphaTauri, looks for a move around the outside, but we managed to block that off as he is driven by Alex Albon and Pierre Gasly, who seem to recompose himself and get back on top. But unfortunately, Teo Bashir is now down in P10 though. But can he use Zhou Guanyu as a bit of a horse and carriage to try and reel himself up back to P9 before the end of the Grand Prix? On lap 25 though, Hamilton's got DRS. Can he spoil this Alpine 4-5 party as Ocon defends like an absolute lion there? But now, Hamilton will have the inside line through this corner though, but they're still going side by side through here. Can Ocon squeeze the position back then? On forward to his Hamilton, who's got the overwhelming straight line speed, but Ocon has the inside line. Ocon now switches around the outside. Can he hold this through? And they're still going side by side. What a fantastic scrap this is between the Alpine and the Mercedes. The Mercedes, on paper, is a better car, but any car can be better with the right hands and the right driver here. As they're going side by side, they've been side by side for pretty much half the lap here. Round the outside though, goes Lewis Hamilton. Can he get the move done? No, he cannot. Ocon hangs in there like an absolute beast, and Ocon maintains P5. Hamilton though will have another go at the Frenchman of Esteban Ocon. This time, he's not as much side by side. He's still going to make the move around the outside if he possibly can. Can he get the move done? Both of them are still going side by side just like last time. Can Ocon squeeze his way through? Yes, he can, but Hamilton is dragging his way up there, and they're still going side by side. It's deja vu from lap 25 just a lap ago, and they're going side by side yet again. What a scrap though by Hamilton and Ocon though. In real life, Hamilton would probably win this, and in the right Mercedes, Hamilton would easily win this, but Ocon, with the new regulations, gets on the inside of Hamilton, and he stays in P5. Meanwhile, that though is happening. We are defending from Yuki Tsunoda as much as we possibly can. Tsunoda goes down the inside. We're looking for that mistake and trying to get that clean switch check move. We get a bit of contact there with Yuki Tsunoda, but he's through. He's through, and we have to try and stay with him and check in our vehicle condition.
The body's incurred some slight damage, but nothing too serious at the moment. Just be careful. Okay, no issues with the tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of it.
So the wing damage, also the underbody damage, unfortunately though, came from riding over the curves. We almost stepped the back end there. But we got to stay with Yuki Tsunoda and see if we can pressurize him into a mistake. Because with the pace he's got, he could easily steal that championship point though from Teo Bashir. But lap 27 though, can Hamilton, with the third time lucky here, can he go around the outside again? Ocon defends like a lion there. Hamilton though gets a much better run through here. They're still going side by side as they now race towards the next corner. Ocon just has the inside line, and Hamilton will have to settle for P6 yet again. And on lap 27 towards lap 28, then Max Verstappen still is away from George Russell. Then comes Sergio Perez, but Perez is much closer though to George Russell, and George Russell does that DRS. George Russell will be a sitting duck though on the main straight as he now heads out towards the Variante Tamarado chicane. Perez pulls to the outside. Can he make the move stick though? Russell's going to give a good fight though through the chicane though. Bit of contact made with the two drivers. Can the Mexican of Sergio Perez get through? No! Russell gives him a great defense, and Perez will have to settle for P3. but it now all comes down to the last lap. Then we have Sebastian and Joe Guan Yu up there. Sebastian goes to the inside. Can he give this P9 here? Bit of contact made with the driver. Right now, Yuki Tsunoda is within the mix as well, though. Can Sebastian get the inside? Yes, he can. He's done it. He has got ahead of Joe Guan Yu in the Alpha Romeo. Joe Guan Yu trying to go around the outside. He cannot make the move stick. Sebastian, hats off to him. He gets up into P9, and he will now be in taking 2 points for the team. Meanwhile, up ahead, Max Verstappen has controlled the race from start to finish. He will take the victory here in the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. A fantastic drive then from the young Dutchman. He crosses the line to take his first win of the F1 22 My Series. George Russell holds off Sergio Perez for second. A great podium then for the Mercedes team. Perez third, Alonso fourth. Hamilton finally did get past Esteban Ocon. Alonso, though, great result for him in P4. There is Hamilton there, 6 seconds adrift though off for Alonso, and there is Esteban Ocon and Lando Norris completing the top 7. Meanwhile, you got Mick Schumacher though in P8, rounding out the top 8 here. And meanwhile, for us, we have just stayed here in P12, unable to make any amends though on Yuki Tsunoda. We go a bit deep though into the corner. Alex Albon is right on the tail. We squeeze to the inside, make a bit of contact with him. We're at the burnout or ERS here. It's going to be a drag race to the line. We squeeze him all the way to the left side, but somehow Alex Albon holds on to P12. We come on P3. That won't matter though. Sebastian comes home in 9th place for 2 points for the team. What a result from him, and what a great race. Finally the driver we deserve, and finally some points we deserve as well.
It's a performance that our Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix winners can be justifiably proud of. And I'm sure there'll be celebrations tonight. Tell me, Ant, how do they manage to achieve this win?
Well, staying out of trouble was probably the most important factor here. In the race where half the field weren't classified at the checkered flag, you were able to guarantee a good result by basically keeping the car running. With their pace and a decent strategy as well, I don't think the race was ever really in doubt.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here.
And my screen recording is going absolutely nuts at seeing this wild scene of Max Verstappen taking his first ever victory in this F1 22 My Team Series. And you can see the screen recording. It's definitely not like, it's like blinking almost as if it's not even sure this is happening. And yes, I was very frustrated this is happening. George Russell comes home in second. Perez rounded up the podium spot. So it'll be a 1-3 then for the Red Bull Works team, unlike real life, which was a 1-2. And my TV is still not working for some reason. My screen recording is still not happy that Verstappen won. Maybe Alex Leclerc winning better than Max Verstappen. But Sebastian, what a race from him. P10, sorry. With 2 points though this entire weekend, but P9 for the actual race itself.
Well, for me, it's got to
what
be
a great
Lewis
result
Hamilton,
from him.
the multiple
And
world champion,
we got to give ourselves some credit for defensive driving. Obviously, I would have loved to score points though, but I think we have to take ourselves a little credit and take some good points though from this Grand Prix. But that will be it then for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix episode. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, definitely be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That would really help us support the channel. And I will see you guys for the next episode for Miami and round 5 of this series. Goodbye, everyone.